Hey viewers and friends, Andrew back again and welcome to another Blu-ray update. This video shouldn't be as long as my previous updates because I don't have quite as much to show you guys, but I have got enough in that I wanted to do an update. Plus I've got a few other things that I wanted to talk about as well. Before we get into the update, we'll talk about the whole Google Plus fiasco and my quick opinions on it. I don't really want to spend too long talking about it, but a few of you have been messaging me wanting to know my opinions. Is it enough to make me leave YouTube? No, it's not. I do think it's annoying. I think it was unnecessary, and the way they forced everyone to sign up I think was absolutely stupid. But I'm still going to stick around YouTube. I can still upload videos, private message people. I have signed up to Google Plus, which didn't really take that long at all. It was just the fact that we got forced into it, which I did not like. I'm still getting my head around Google Plus, but anyway, at least I can still comment on people's videos and, more importantly, reply to comments. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. I hated the fact we got forced into it, but there's one good thing that's actually come out of it, and that is the fact that you can now pretty much type as much as you want in a comment. There's no limits anymore or word restrictions to the amount of words that can go into the comment section like it was before. So you can pretty much type as much as you want, which I think is great, and that's pretty much the only good thing that's come out of this, I think. But yeah, that's sort of all I really have to say on that. So yeah, let's move on to the movies. Now I got all of these movies from two people here on YouTube. Rememberable, or Jarrett, was selling a lot of his Blu-rays, so I picked up 4 of them. And I also got a pretty cool Halloween edition in from Horror Collectible Guy, or Kurt. We did a trade. So yeah, I'll get started. So I'll show the stuff that I got from Jarrett first. The first one is another Screen Factory release. It's a double feature of X-Ray and Schizoid. I haven't checked this out yet. Mostly picked it up for X-Ray, which I've heard is a pretty decent 80s slasher film, so another one for the collection is always good. Honestly, I don't really have any interest in Schizoid at all, pretty much. I've heard it's not very good, and I don't think I'll like it, but it did come part of the set, and I probably will check it out at some point. But mostly wanted this for X-Ray, so looking forward to checking that out. The next movie was Awesome, and that is No One Lives. Really awesome modern horror film. Interesting take on the sort of slasher body count genre. I would classify this as a slasher film. Pretty unique one. I really can't talk too much about the movie without spoiling it. Extremely easy to spoil. I went into this pretty much knowing next to nothing about it, apart from the very basic plot synopsis, and Reddy or Brian actually recommended this to me, so thanks a lot, mate. This is one I haven't really heard too many people talk about, but I highly recommend it. Go into it blind though. It's the best way to experience this film. It's pretty much non-stop violence and gore from start to finish almost. Very violent and brutal, and the gore effects are really well done. There's some awesome kills in this one, so highly recommend this one. Easily one of the better modern horror slasher films of late. And the last 2 that I picked up from Jarrett are another couple of Halloween editions, this time for Halloween 4 and 5. These are the US Blu-ray releases. They were cheap, I wanted them for the collection. I do quite like the cover art on both of them, with the colours there, so yep, not a lot to say. Love Halloween 4, not so keen on Halloween 5 though. Alright, and moving on to the trade that I did with Kurt, or Horror Collectible Guy. I'll be leaving his channel link in the description box. Please check him out if you haven't. He's one of my favourite YouTubers on here and one of my best friends. So we did a bit of a trade, and he sent me the Halloween Remake, the 2-disc Blu-ray. I already owned the movie multiple times, but I didn't own this release, and I wanted it for the cover art, which is probably my favourite cover for any Blu-ray release of the film so far. Really like the simplicity of the mask at the top, and the colour scheme looks great. I know a lot of people crap on this remake. I think it's fantastic. I love it. I love the fact that Rob Zombie completely made it his own. It's pretty much completely different to the original film. Sure, they follow the same sort of basic storyline and the characters, but it's certainly a lot more violent and brutal than the original film, and I love the whole first half of the movie with the backstory on young Michael. I think that is a great addition to have. It really adds something to the franchise, I think, and the character himself, and it was really well done. I know a lot of people don't like that, but I thought it was awesome and I loved it. So yeah, I love this remake. I think it's great. Nowhere near as good as the original, but fantastic film. So glad to own this edition in my collection. He also sent a note, which I'll quickly read out. Hey Andrew, thank you for providing fantastic videos and an awesome friendship. The same goes back to you. I look forward to receiving the Australian edition of Halloween on Blu-ray. Your friend Kurt. So thanks a lot, Kurt, for the note and for doing this trade. Really appreciate it. Alright, and the last thing that I quickly wanted to talk about, I was going to make a separate video on it, and then I thought, nah, I'll just include it in this update. And I just wanted to give my overall thoughts and opinions on this Blu-ray right here. You guys have heard me talk about it before, but I have completely finished watching everything the Blu-ray has to offer. So I pretty much wanted to share my overall opinions on this release. First and foremost, I'm going to say it's a fantastic release, and it's definitely well worth anyone out there owning. Packaging wise, you guys already know my opinions on it. Not a big fan of the way that the disc is housed, and I don't like the fact that there was no artwork on the back. But other than that, pretty solid packaging, and I do really like the artwork. In terms of disc specs, the movie doesn't really sound that much different to previous releases, but the transfer is probably the best the film's ever going to look on this format. Certainly better looking than any other previous Blu-ray release, so transfer wise it's great. Special feature wise, it has a couple of new features. It has the hour-long Curtis documentary from Horror Hound, which was absolutely amazing. And it also has the new audio commentary with Carpenter and Curtis, which is the main reason I wanted to mention it in this video, because I finally got around to watching that last night, and I've got to be completely honest and say I hated the commentary. I thought it was absolutely awful. Now granted, I'm not the biggest fan of audio commentaries, and I don't tend to watch them a lot. There's been some fantastic ones that I've seen. I haven't seen a whole ton, but this is easily the worst one that I have ever seen. I didn't complete it. I got about an hour in and had to turn it off. I'd had enough. Yeah, I don't know. Carpenter and Curtis did not work well together at all. Their chemistry wasn't good. They just did not work, I don't think. A lot of the times they'd sort of like be quite rude to each other. They wouldn't really argue, but they'd sort of, I don't know, say little sort of sly comments to each other, kind of, which I found really annoying. I didn't really learn too much that I didn't already know, although I will mention one thing. They did talk about the original Myers house quite a bit, and I found out some interesting things about that I didn't know, so that was pretty cool. But Curtis was so irritating in this one. She'd repeat herself way too much, and yeah, I did not enjoy her at all. She went on so much about not really being a massive fan of horror, and then she'd sort of say, oh, but this movie right here really launched her career and it's the most fun she's had with a film. And then she'd go back to saying, oh, that she doesn't really like horror, and she hadn't really liked acknowledging the franchise. And it kind of felt hypocritical. It felt like a slap in the face to the fans, and she went on about that a lot, which got really, really annoying. So yeah, I did not enjoy the commentary at all. But other than that, a fantastic release that I highly recommend. So if anyone out there has checked out the commentary, I'm definitely keen to hear what you thought of it. Alright guys, well that does it for this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Definitely let me know what you think of the movies that I've picked up in the comments section below, and thank you for watching.